I got a lot to talk about.
It was like electric. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am just Sammy today. The last video I would have posted, put your fingers down.
Oh, sorry.
The last video you would have seen on this channel was our HYROX vlog injured edition. We competed at the 2026 HYROX competition hosted in Washington, DC.
March the 7th.
Mixed doubles, age group 25 to 29. We signed up back in
Late December.
Started training 4 weeks before this competition. I suffered a lower back injury, so I have been out of practice, out of shape, and out of commission for 5 weeks now, probably.
Yes, I got a lot to talk about.
We just kind of wanted to give a rundown of what it looked like for us in case you have found yourself injured and you were like us and did not pay for the insurance. Moving forward, we will probably always be paying for the insurance.
Yes.
There's two different types of insurance. There is a cheaper one that's $15 that you can buy with your tickets that allows one name change up to 24 hours before your competition time. I would recommend everybody at least get that. There's a second one that allows you to like cancel up to certain many days ahead of time. You get more options with how you can cancel. We didn't do anything for that. So our plan heading into this was just Brian was just going to run the race, get DQ'd, and move on from it. But let's talk about HYROX in and of itself as a whole and what the competition is.
Okay, so here's how HYROX works. It is in total 4.9 miles of running. You start the race out with a 1 kilometer run, which is 0.63 miles, and then you go to a station. And then a 0.63 run, go to a station. It's 8 1 kilometer runs in between 8 stations. You can do it men's solo, women's solo. You can do men's double, women's double, or you can do mixed doubles, men and women.
And then there's open and pro for all of these. So of course we're looking for open. This is a competition. There's rules. There's judges at every station. Of course, one of the rules is you can't be separated by your partner from a certain distance during your runs. Like Brian's not allowed to sprint off and be feet and feet away from me. You get penalties, which is timing penalties. But then after 3 times, you get disqualified.
Yes.
Being disqualified, they take your number down and then your number is supposed to be withdrawn from the timing of things. You're not necessarily like dragged off the race. You can still finish your race. At least that was our experience. But then there's of course going to be rules at every station. The sled pull and push, you have to make sure you go over the line with those. Burpees, chest to floor. Lunges, your knees have to hit the ground.
Did you already say the wall ball stuff? Like wall balls, your squat has to be below your hips for your depth. You hit these little targets.
So there's a bunch of different rules and a lot of them are penalties. A lot of them do not result in disqualification. The big one is like being separated from your partner. Some things result in like time penalties. Some things just result in you literally have to do it over again. When did we receive the email of the maps?
Oh boy, 2 weeks before.
I would just recommend like really reviewing that, knowing what's going on.
They call it the Red Bull tunnel where you start your race. They do such a good job of explaining everything and it's really follow the leader.
Yeah, you go up into this warm-up zone and the warm-up zone is very cool. I did not know this was going to be a thing, but the warm-up zone has everything you actually need. The farmers carry kettlebells, skis, it has rows, it has wall balls, it has bikes, it has treadmills.
It was a gym in itself.
Yeah, it really was. I was not expecting that. I thought the warm-up area was just going to be like turf and you would just sit there and like roll out, stretch. Like I did not think it was going to be like that. That's kind of just a little bit about HYROX. I will say it is such a cool competition, I think, to be a part of. I think it's a very inclusive one at that. From whether or not you're going to finish 101 or you're going to set the record, whether you're going in to do that or whether you're going to do it in 2 or 3 hours. It's so inclusive. Everybody's cheering for everybody. Everybody can kind of compete in HYROX, even though your finishing times might look different. Like it is very challenging, but it's as challenging as you make it. So I just think that was really cool. And like the sense of community was very cool. It was a really good experience.
It was actually one of the coolest things.
It was like electric.
It was electric. And I keep looking down at my phone just so I have some cool talking points for everybody. It is way harder than people make this seem. There are some freak athletes in there.
If you're an athlete, you can go and just watch. So we got there at probably like 11:30 or noon.
Yeah.
And we just checked in and got wristbands just to go and watch. Then we went back out into the hallway, started warming up, and waited till that 90 minutes on the dot because we were worried we were going to get stuck in like quite a line behind people. Then we got checked in. It's interesting. They write your athlete number like in Sharpie on your arm.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's a better system for that. You get this little device that is what tracks you as an athlete. So of course, if you're mixed doubles, we each get one. So we get those, and we're thinking in the back of our minds the whole time, we're like, should we ask somebody and let them know what's going on?
Yeah, it was
or
weird.
Is this an ask for forgiveness situation later? Because we were starting to get a little bit nervous about if they were going to let us run the race, but we were totally okay with Brian disqualifying. It would suck to have spent so much money on it for neither one of us to have had experienced the race, and we wanted the experience so that way when we do our next one, we won't have any of those first timer issues because Brian's already been through it, so it wasn't a waste of 200 and...
No, it was worth every penny, and I'm so happy the judges let us keep finishing.
Yeah, so we got checked in, we did all those things. Brian was like, well, why don't I just take your little thing? And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea because I think that would look like we're cheating.
Yeah.
And anybody a part of HYROX, feel free to comment on that. But I was like, I don't want it to look like we're cheating whatsoever, so I kept mine because I didn't want it to look like I ever crossed because I wasn't going to be doing that day. But then Brian goes into the Red Bull tunnel. And of course, there's all these couples walking in. He walks in by himself, and this is the first time he stopped by a judge.
Yeah, they asked me immediately where my partner was, and I told him, hey, she hurt her back. Like, we're already disqualified. She just said, okay, and let me go in. So that was the first person that I knew. I was like, okay, I'm going to get to race. There was, like, I read so much and I sent so many emails. They don't have a rule about if this happens. If somebody, the only thing they say is if your partner gets injured and you have the Flex add-on thing, you can change a name up to 24 hours, but nothing says what happens if your partner gets hurt day of. So it does say how you get disqualified, but it doesn't say you can't run the race as a mixed doubles. And then throughout every station, I made sure I told someone when I got there, hey, my partner hurt herself. We're already disqualified. We would just like to finish the race. And they were all so supportive, and they would say, okay, is she all right? That was the first question. They kept referencing this medical tent, like, is she in the tent? What I did hear was that one of the judges was supposed to take a picture of our arms to disqualify us. I was okay with that. No one ever took my picture. And when you would make the laps, your times are popping up on this big board, and it's showing your name and what run you're on and what workout you're on. The run kept updating, and the workout kept updating. So when I saw that, I knew they hadn't disqualified us, and they were going to let us finish and keep the times, which I was really happy about because that's what...
Because we're at no advantage. Like,
yeah,
we're not beating anybody. We're at no advantage with Brian doing this by himself.
I just don't see any world where you can be at an advantage in this thing by yourself.
And I guess one time he was kind of in the trenches and one of them was like, remember to do this for your wife.
Yeah, dude, it is a mental war. The best way to explain this race, if anyone has ever ran a half marathon, which this really is a runner's race in my mind, what you feel at mile 11 with 2 miles to go and all the mental wars start, that's how you feel about 75% of this race. And the runs feel so long.
Let's just get into like your experience.
Yeah, so I just want to go through the race real quick and kind of understand where I think people should really focus their time on. The way we trained together, I wasn't training to run this by myself, almost treating it that way. Now I think when we go to train this summer into the fall when we run another one, I think that's what can really separate us from other couples when we run a mixed doubles. If we train a little bit like, okay, we have to do this station all by myself, because when you have a partner, I mean, I'll tell you my times through this, it's actually going to cut stuff in half, which is insane. First run was 5 minutes and 10 seconds, which I was really happy about. The 1,000-meter ski erg was at 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Sammy and I, when training, we would sometimes end our workout with a 1,000-meter ski, and we were doing these 1,000-meter skis at like 350. Sled push, 3 minutes on the dot. That's where I really needed Sammy. I was a mess after this one. Our times around that were like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so we wouldn't have cut off much time.
Ours were 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and we were dealing with a very short space where we had to turn the sled push every single time. So realistically, our times were closer to probably like 220, 225. Yeah.
The sled pull, 6 minutes and 14 seconds. This was the third station, and it just went all downhill there. Our sled pull times were in the mid mid-4s to the low 5s while training. So there was another minute. So through the first 3 stations, we already have 2 minutes cut off. This is where I think we actually could have finished 20 minutes faster because of what comes now. The next one was the burpee broad jump at 6 minutes and 3 seconds.
When we're training, we're thinking about like what our strength's gonna be. One of mine was gonna be the burpees for sure.
So for example, the mixed doubles team that finished in first place, that posted the best time, they did their burpee broad jump in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And that was the 25th fastest mixed doubles time. We were doing our burpees like around the 4-minute mark, probably a little bit faster. So there's 2 more minutes that we would cut off. And this is if I'm taking times based off our January. We ran the race in March. So we would have had 2 more months to train if Sammy doesn't hurt her back. The 1,000-meter row was 5 minutes and 26 seconds. In January, when Sammy and I did the row, it was like 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Farmer's carry at 2 minutes and 24 seconds. That's about where we were with that. It was just a slower thing. I don't know how much more time we would have cut off there. The last 2, sandbag lunges, 6 minutes and 27 seconds. The slowest we did there was like 4 minutes while we were training. And then wall balls, 8 minutes and 14 seconds. I think we would have cut that in half. There's at least 15 minutes there of our old times that we would have cut off.
And that doesn't even take into consideration 2 more months of training and the runs.
Yeah, and the runs. I think what I'm going to focus on heavily is, say we run one in October, which I think would be a good goal. I think that late July, August into September is going to be all about running for me. I'm going to set new running goals. My total run was 45 minutes and 55 seconds. I mean, if we can get that under 40 minutes, there's 5 more minutes of you cut off just from the running.
Of course, I'm going into my training like thinking totally different now. I've never had an injury before in any of my athletic experiences or endeavors. So of course we're going into training differently, but I've also gotten to witness a HYROX, and I got to watch where people were struggling or where people were excelling. I gained a couple like little insights. One really good one is during burpees. If you are moving fast, you're gonna be passing some people. It's just inevitable. And all you have to do is you just need to make sure your feet do not go past where your feet are. Let's say I'm the one doing burpees. Even if I've only done 2 burpees, but we're about to pass somebody, the smart thing to do would be your feet are here. Rather than me shuffle, Brian, because he's supposed to be behind me, he sees that I'm about to pass somebody. Brian lines up his feet with me and your partner passes and you get behind them. It's a great time to do a transition. People were getting so worked up over passing, like throwing up their hands, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I also saw this was a part of my injury, was overdoing some farmer's carries when I was already had a sore back. But the farmer's carry weight is a heavy weight for me where I'm at right now. I saw people, rather than putting them down and grabbing them, transitioning them just by hand to hand. So how I would do the farmer's carry as a girl who's going to have a hard time picking them up, but I can hold them once I have them in my hand, is Brian starts with them. I would come up behind him, put my hands in it, and he would let go. And like, you probably just want to have like a word, like a code word for like when you got them, just so like good communication styles. That's how I would do it. That way I never have to pick them up and then I'd hand them back so he could end with them. That way I never have to pick them up, put them down. I risk myself to no injury whatsoever. And then definitely like practicing the lunge transitions. I saw a lot of people struggling with that, but then just like calm down, take a deep breath and do the transition. I think if you're dealing with somebody shorter, a nice way to go is if Brian was standing in front of me with the sandbag on his back, I come up beneath him, like facing him underneath and reach up above, and he kind of drops it gently and safely. I think the back-to-back can be good, but it's only good if you're the same height.
I saw a guy that was way taller than his partner. They were flying with this. He was going and he shoulder pressed it over himself and pretty much just started like the girl just picked it up. Like he went like this, turned around and just handed it to her.
Because people were a mess. It was a lot of the like trying to roll back to back. I think people saw maybe a hack or something, but that one was not working for people mid-race.
No. 10 out of 10 experience. I can't wait to do one with her just because of how much time we're going to cut off. I know the way to train now. I could just flat out need to be in better shape because I've ran out of gas by myself. Stamina. Yeah, I need better stamina because I had to take so many breaks, and I told Sammy this. There's so many times where I'm just sitting there with my hands on my hips because I can't catch my breath. There's some really, really good athletes there, and it was so cool to get to race it with everybody.
But yeah, that was our HYROX 2026 Injured Edition experience. It was still such a cool experience. I'm so happy we still went. If you want to see us training for our next HYROX, we'll show you what that looks like. I'm probably about 2 to 3 weeks out from any sort of HYROX training.
She was back in the gym today. How was it? How did you feel today in there?
Pretty good. I feel pretty good.
You were
I just don't want to say too much, get too ahead of myself. Yeah. We are probably signing up for the October Boston 2026 HYROX. That's probably going to be our next one. We are going to spend the $15 for the name change, like just in case.
So crazy to me. Like, I even emailed them and I was like, can I just spend the money now?
Yeah,
and like, can I pay you $15 to change the name now?
Just in case.
I got a fun goal. I'm going to speak this into existence. Today is March the 15th. I would like to be able to run 5 miles at a under 7-minute pace by October.
If you have any other questions that you feel like we didn't address in this, or like what to do if you get injured, let us know in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. If you have not signed up for a HYROX yet and you're thinking about it, I think this is your sign to do it.
Agreed.
So happy Sunday. Maybe happy Monday. I don't know when I'm posting this, but we'll see you in the next one. Well, I'll see you in the next one.